And as it stands right now, I mean, everything on SANDBOX really hates tanks. Graves doesn't like it, Wukong doesn't like it, Syndra hates it so much. And so their entire team comp is very prone to them, and Maokai is, I mean, he's a bit of a tree.
You're already looking at Senna that can be fasted.
Yeah.
That often goes with tanks, right?
Yeah. And Jayce now coming in to pair with the Zoe for Jayce Zoe. And so an interesting option. Another option that would actually be really fantastic here against SANDBOX that Korean teams probably would never think about is actually Malphite. In a spot like this, Graves would get ruined, Syndra can't play the game, Thresh who, and then Wukong just gets lane kingdomed in top lane. So that would have been very, very scary because then you have Senna with basically 3 tanks that are all getting healing.
Ooh.
Malphite goes Abyssal Mask,
Yuck.
amplifies Zoe's damage because he's right on top of his opponents always. Really, really, really powerful synergy. But instead, DAMWON, they're going to do DAMWON things. They're going to pick the Jayce. Nuguri's going to try to lane kingdom.
Yeah.
And they'll transition into a Zoe Jayce type of team composition, very akin to Zoe Ezreal. SANDBOX, they try to change pace here by picking up an Azir, but there's not a whole lot of protection for Azir. It feels like to me it's going to be very awkward for him to actually go in, even with his Sand Soldiers. We saw it in one of the games yesterday what happens when the Azir and the Ashe couldn't go forward because their tanks were on a different agenda.
Yeah.
And they just end up standing there not being able to really do anything. And you have to wonder what is going to end up happening this game. The Graves versus Trundle dynamic is nice, but when you pair in the laners, I think you feel much more comfortable with DAMWON's team comp. Maokai Senna, Zoe Trundle, and Jayce for the side of DAMWON. And SANDBOX, Wukong, Graves, Azir, Syndra, and Thresh. So they do have some pick potential in the later stages. Syndra with the QE setup, Thresh with the death sentence, and obviously Shurima shuffles, but you don't want to be Shurima shuffling into that team. You will just get locked down and die. And I am having a lot of difficulty imagining how this team sets up for Azir to do damage.
Yeah, I'm not sure myself. Again, it just looks like one of those on-paper comfort picks where Dove is like, you know what I'm good at? Well, I named myself after this champion. He's a bird. His name is Azir. So pick me that one. And they kind of win for that. Maybe he's comfortable in the matchup. And we've seen many Korean teams that don't necessarily tailor their compositions towards, you know, 5v5s, stuff like that. They want to win lanes, or they go with comfort. So I feel like that might be part of the case here. Certainly a lot of damage potential in their comp, but they're not exactly going into the most friendly composition for what they bring in terms of damage. So it will be interesting to see what does happen here. SANDBOX, of course, they're a team that love to get ahead early and just are always in your face. So if they can get ahead early, maybe they can use their huge damage to knock you down. We'll have to see, as OnFleek is not going to be starting blue. He is Graves. He will go to the red.
Well, taking a look at the runes here, we got Ingenious Hunter and Predator on the Trundle. And remember, this is the Predator buff patch, where you can use it more often. And OnFleek is just going to do the red buff. We'll pay attention to what his opening is. Down in the bot lane here, Root and Gorilla with Syndra Thresh. Syndra is good against Senna in a vacuum. But obviously Maokai, he's a real menace for the enemy team. Also, Syndra has the Scorch, but there's no universe where you're not just considering going later into the game. So the Scorch very confusing, because you're not a kill lane just because you're Syndra and Thresh.
Especially against Senna Maokai.
Yeah.
Are going to bring so much tankiness and sustain in their kits. It's like the Scorch is just immediately going to be negated.
Yeah.
I mean, they've already done a nice amount of poke, but Ghost and BeryL are full health, so there's not really much doing there.
And Graves with the red Raptors into blue buff immediately. There's a ward on him as well. And this will split his jungle clearing a little bit. Not the end of the world, though, by any means. We take a look at top lane. Now, Nuguri here, He hasn't used any of his corrupting potions. We're probably not going to see a cheater recall, but Jayce is one of the best champions at executing it and then also getting benefit, because corrupting pot, hard trade into the opponent. Jayce is a very big bully. Gets the cheater recall, Cull comes back, wave's frozen, Jayce zones you out, and things can get scary. But Nuguri probably just wanting to pile up waves, crash, go for turret plates, things of that nature. And here's OnFleek looking to sin on Graves.
Yeah, okay, they're gonna get the play onto BeryL.
Yeah, not so sure about that one.
Yeah, there was no follow-up at all, so...
It was an interesting move there, Cotton. And in exchange for it, they're going to end up losing double Scuttle Crab, and we're going to have a Trundle out-farming Graves here, so... Very cool.
Very nice. Well, he's back again, as
here we go.
This time it might work, but the twisted advance onto the minion means that, again, Graves' farm is going to be delayed, and again, they will not pick up the kill.
And they shared quite a bit of EXP with one another as well. Maokai just going to farm this wave, and BeryL has teleport. Remember, I mean, Root does as well, but this is much more problematic for SANDBOX all around, because take a look at Trundle. He's on a mission right now. Not only did he come up here, he's spotted the golems. Now, unfortunately for him, he will finish his recall. Didn't have Smite available anyway, but this is all really good. Everyone knows where Graves is. Everyone's playing with map hacks. You hit tab, you count as CS. Summit is looking like Plummet right now, as the top lane is not going super well.
Yeah. That's another good one. I've seen many other iterations of the, you know, the troll names, but Plummet's nice.
He's on Wukong here, not Trundle.
He's not on Aatrox, so it's, you know, we've all seen how that goes. As BeryL is getting in there, the hook goes down onto Senna, but Gorilla has aggro, and he's just dead. So now we got ShowMaker coming down here onto Root, who does have his flash.
Oh.
He doesn't want to use it, though. You can see ShowMaker trying to not spread out the minions there. Will now help on the push, so a failed... I'm not sure what that was. Skirmish, I guess. It does not work out, and BeryL picks up a kill.
Yeah, his teleport ends up not being super successful. He did have a lot of time for it, though, as Azir was on a reset. So we take a look at this replay. Look at the minion wave. When ShowMaker does go for the TP, Azir is recalling. ShowMaker gets all the minions, I believe, before the teleport, so the wave is resetting. BeryL and Ghost just pick up a kill in front of their turret. And take a look at Root's gold. He ended up being gated, couldn't quite get the lost chapter. Really big problem. About 5 CS off, I believe, from being able to afford it at this game timer.
Yeah. Should have been pretty close, and the TP's already down, so can't really get a great back from that from now on. But at least SANDBOX, after everyone went back and bought items on the side of DAMWON, they're going to pick up that first Cloud Drake. So no Cloud Drake Soul, no Ocean Soul either. So we're looking at Infernal or Mountain in this game. And the bottom lane so far has been it's been pretty nice for DAMWON. All things considered, the TP from the Zoe was great. As ShowMaker was helping out. He didn't necessarily help in the kill onto Gorilla, but his presence certainly made it possible.
And all things considered, though, everything is still relatively stable. It's only about a 1,000 gold lead for DAMWON. And SANDBOX did get the first Dragon. Canyon's going to come in here with ShowMaker, pick up the red buff. And Dove is going to get checked for a little bit of this damage. And OnFleek is very far behind. That is where the real tragedy, and all of this is a byproduct of that opening where he tried to sin for no reason on Graves. Ended up losing both of his Scuttle Crabs, ended up giving away map hacks essentially to the opponents because Canyon was able to place that ward onto the golems. And this is all just sort of a chain effect of that.
Yeah, you remember the interviews, the trash talk. Ghost was like, yeah, OnFleek's not very good at ganking the bottom lane. And OnFleek's, well, yeah, I'm going to show you what's up. I'm gonna pop you like a balloon or whatever he said. And then it's like, well, I wonder if in the pick ban they were like, let's set up a kill lane and get a kill for OnFleek, who's going to try to force it. Kind of, you know, trying to come up with reasons for why it happened the way it did, but it's hard to do so, to say the least. As things have kind of calmed down here after the Drake went down, we're not going to force any Rift Heralds right now, even though they do have some priority there.
Dub is getting beat up a little bit in the mid lane. Even though there was that blunder teleport by ShowMaker down into bottom, he is constantly a little bit behind of the Zoe. And yeah, Graves, I mean, he's just foregoing his camps again, looking for a gank that doesn't exist. So, immaculate decision down here, as Canyon now going to clear out the ward inside of the Rift Herald. Graves still going to forego his camps.
I sense some sarcasm in your voice.
Sarcasm.
Tell me if I'm tell me if I'm off here. I'm not sure.
That's the Bronze 5 in you speaking.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
BB.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, he comes up here perhaps thinking he's going to stop the Rift Herald, but then he just goes back after help pushing mid. But he, you know, it's not like they're going to do much except get a faster blue for the Azir. And just a lot of delay in the pathing because of that. There was never really a world where they could just collapse and get on in there.
Jayce had total control, Zoe would be able to get there. Yeah. I like how Canyon pulled it over to the left-hand side. And at this point, I mean, things are just getting worse and worse. Canyon is at Cinderhulk, had the Predator boots. Graves still just sitting on double longsword, doesn't yet have the warrior enchant. We'll see if he gets it here on the recall. No!
Oh.
Oh, man.
Not yet.
Oh, that's a wide peepo sad. For sure.
Pepe hands, perhaps.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, it's sad days for Graves right now.
Yeah, and I mean, Canyon, he's going to be able to do the Raptor camp into Golems, maybe look for a gank bottom. Dragon's coming up. Now, Graves here, he has realistically only one option, which is just to do Graves into Wraiths, into Wolves. He has to do that kind of a play, or he has to do that kind of pathing.
Trying to deny this with the ward. Can they get it? The Lantern is not able to be taken, and Ghost just shoots him in the face. Right point blank. Ghost will pick up that kill. A nice little play there set up by Ghost and BeryL. Roots deciding he's not going to flash. He's just dead. And that will set up a nice little push down the bottom side. He has Rift Herald, by the way, does Canyon.
Yep.
They're going to drop it here after taking down the first two plates.
And Dub's here, I mean, the Rift Herald is summoned. It will crash into the turret. There's no way they can. Can they kill it? Whoa.
Oh,
really close, though. Nice attempt.
Yeah.
By SANDBOX there. And now they're going to come over and they're going to group for the ocean. No, never mind. They're just going to go back down into bottom. Nuguri almost has teleport. Zoe and Trundle in close proximity. I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah, the hook goes wide, and now they're all stuck under the turret here. Awkward spot. ShowMaker kind of has a shooting gallery. It's not going to land anything, though.
Right now, SANDBOX playing the Vertical Summoner's Rift. Or ARAM, Howling Abyss. Inside of the, yeah. 4 members in their blue side jungle still.
Well, they're trying to stop this Ocean Drake from being taken. And so they say, we're going to make a very aggressive move to get on in here. Root's going to lose some XP and gold down on the bottom side. As the last play goes onto BeryL, but he's so tanky, and Gorilla has no tanky stats, as he does not have Aftershock. He's got Guardian. And now Ghost in a really awkward spot, though. He's probably going to go down here. As a double knockup does come in by the side of SANDBOX, but a nice sniperino there from ShowMaker. As trying to tank in the front line there was OnFleek. Still had a splash, but didn't react on time. As the Drake will go their way, and the rest of SANDBOX is stuck here in the river, being chased down as there's just massive damage coming in. The shooting gallery once again of Zoe and Jayce is just unbelievable, and they lock him down again, but they can't quite dive just yet. As DWG are making a case here to already try to take down the game.
Yeah, and it looks like SANDBOX, I mean,
They're going
already...
in.
What
SANDBOX is going in.
On?
They say, hey guys, I think this is our chance. But that was absolutely not it, guys. As Nuguri, he just TP'd back top lane. He's like, guys, there's still plates left. Let me get the most value, the most bang for my buck.
He's going to get all of them. Summit doesn't have teleport. He's dead for 21 seconds. I mean, okay, here comes OnFleek. But Graves is level 80, does have red buff.
Okay, they're going to TP.
He has red smite too.
They're probably going to get Nuguri here. Although TP is coming in, and Senna trying to help out, but not the best help, as now it's BeryL against 2. Got some minions to help. BeryL is just, he is thick, man.
Yeah.
He's been working out.
So they end up committing the teleport, but then Root immediately loses everything. And his HP, I mean, he's at about 40% right now. Let's take a look at how this transpired. This was the most simple kill. Now, Gorilla, he could have thrown the Lantern maybe up more after the Root finished and then flash into it and then get the Lantern. That would be the play there. Summit coming in from behind. Take a look at Ghost. Dove, not really able to get a lot of value here. Has to kite up towards his team. Looks like he wants to go for a Shurima Shuffle, but then hesitates as Summit's there. Goes on to Ghost, kills him really easy. OnFleek says, please put me out of my misery, as he goes forward just to get popped. He never had damage to kill BeryL there. Not totally sure what he was doing. Summit looking like he wants to go back in, but I believe Azir's on cooldown still. So unable to really do anything. Ends up having to retreat, and then nice attempt by Root to knock him back with Scatter the Weak, but DAMWON weren't weak there. Right here, I have absolutely no clue what the thought process was here. That is a very tanky Trundle. You don't have any damage. Your Syndra, very weak at that point in time. It's a 5,000 gold lead for DAMWON here at 14.5 minutes.
Yeah. It's looking like another one of those LCK stomps we got coming in here. DAMWON come out strong. SANDBOX flat once again. As they're going to make another aggressive play try to happen here as Nuguri sees it coming. He's like, I've been here before, guys. Trust me. I know what it's like to get camped. It is me after all, as 3 members were down there trying to get him. Doesn't pan out, though.
Well, Nuguri and Ghost now doing the red. Unsure who they just gave that to, but Mountain Drake coming up next, and that's a very big problem for SANDBOX. Because Azir and Syndra really, really hate when opponents are tanky. Azir a little bit less so, but it really invalidates Syndra. She ends up getting stuck on her items, which, if you're a mid lane player, you probably understand what I mean when it just feels really bad to get Ludens and then a Void Staff, and then it just feels like the next item that you have to get is so expensive, you're not getting any value, your core components don't feel good. Just feels like you're doing nothing for about 10 minutes, and it's one of the worst feelings in the world. As BeryL looking like alright, successfully steals all the Raft. This is not on this game.
Yeah, he's been struggling, and you can see he almost dies there to the Maokai. And Dove might, okay,
yeah,
he's
Dove
got
is getting
flash.
soloed by Trundle. No,
Yeah,
okay.
Well, Azir is a little bit more.
Tree? Okay, this is like Lord of the Rings at this point. You ever see when the tree's in that movie? You don't.
Yeah, no, I did see it, but it was a while ago.
Okay.
Like when I was much younger, like when they first came out.
When you were like what, like 16?
Whenever they first came out. I don't know when that was. Long time ago.
I was making a boomer joke, you know. Not that big of a deal.
Yeah. But I do remember the trees.
Okay.
So there is
Glad
that.
you remember that.
Yeah. We got that going.
They look like Ivern if he found his way into a bakery buffet. You know.
I love bakery buffets, by the way, Matt.
They have them in Korea.
Bakeries in general. Do they really?
Yeah, there's an all-you-can-eat like sweets and bakery cake.
Ooh, that sounds dangerous.
Yeah, it definitely is. I don't know.
Oh boy.
I don't know. You know, they have like smoothies and shakes and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
I don't know why you would ever go there. You walk out looking like Tom Kent.
OP. Well, they already have so much damage here that I'm not sure what SANDBOX can do. They got BeryL in the front. Nuguri's tanking. Nice knock up there into the Wukong, though, as Nuguri's going to go down early. Not the first time I've said that. Casting DAMWON, but they're going to get the root down onto Dove and make that a second and a third. And how about a double kill for the Zoe, who hasn't done too much damage. Actually, Azir has done the most, but it does not matter as he doesn't pick up the kills. And that's just going to be another team fight win for the side of DAMWON. They get a bunch of resistances for their tanks in the front. The Trundle, the Maokai that are already giving their comps so much trouble are just going to get that much more annoying.
Yeah. And I really like the Magi Soul Stealer on Zoe, except for if she dies here, I'm going to recount my statement. Yeah, so I really like the Magi Soul Stealer on Zoe here. It's at 14 stacks. We saw in one of the games yesterday that there was a Darksteel at 10 stacks and never got upgraded.
It was Mickey that did that?
Yeah. I think that Magi is one of the most underappreciated items. Take a look at this replay here. As BeryL goes in, he's just way too tanky. OnFleek doesn't deal any damage. Now, Nuguri does get brought down. Gorilla, quick to follow. Mountain Drake ends up going over to DAMWON, and then right there, Dove ends up getting locked up. And take a look at ShowMaker.
수면 잘 자요.
Good night.
잘 자요.
Good night.
용 스틸.
Says I'm gonna steal your
Dragon Steel.
Yeah.
뺏었어. 얘들아 내가 뺏었어.
I got it, guys. I got it, lol. That's the official translation. This guy he's pretty stacked. He goes into solo queue, he gets first and second place on the ladder. And now he's 4-0-2 with 14 stacks on Maokai in his first game. Is this the season of ShowMaker? We'll have to wait and see until he plays better teams. But for now, he's looking pretty good. Nuguri is going to get ganked. Not the first time that's happened either, as BeryL, he doesn't take damage at this point.
Does that count as an isolated death?
Let's just put it on, yeah, let's just give him that one. You know, it's like one of his first place stats, so we want to add to the number.
Yeah. Well, 7,000 gold advantage with a Mountain Dragon, which for a couple of these champions is actually really big because they normally don't get resistances, and armor amplification is going to be so good against the enemy team. It's going to be that much more difficult for Graves and Wukong to deal damage, especially given that they have 3 more mountains to go. Yes, Wukong and Graves do both have Black Cleaver, which I find that so odd, by the way, that they're both stacking Black Cleaver. I would imagine that Wukong gets the Black Cleaver, shreds it, Graves goes lethality, tries to bring him as close as possible to dealing true damage. Both of them having it so that Syndra's auto attacks and Azir's auto attack deal more. Probably not the best, as Root flashing away.
Subjugate.
Does get the Lantern though.
Yeah. He should be fine. The damage has stopped ticking, but I mean, there wasn't even a fight that happened really. It was just Zoe, Jayce, 5 bajillion miles ahead. Let's call it 200 light years in this one. And they're just having fun. BeryL's running through the base. He says, hey guys, let's go. We're invading, we're ganking, we're engaging. He's gonna find OnFleek as Gorilla and Gang don't really have any place to go but back. Although we do have a teleport coming in, but ShowMaker is the sniper man today. As Summit is desperately trying to get on in there, but even Ghost is really tanky at this point.
Summit can't really do anything. I mean, it's just way too problematic. They're way too far behind. And unfortunately, it's just not going to be enough in this game. And also, you take a look at even Azir right now. He doesn't even have Sorkman boots. He does have the Oblivion Orb. But Zoe has Banshee's Veil, Spirit Visage on Trundle, and Adaptive Helm on Maokai. I mean, Azir's just not dealing any damage to anyone. Senna has HP stack. And yeah, their magic resistance is pretty pathetic on some of the champions not building MR, but these Mountain Dragons are going to make up for that. It's going to help give a little bit of buff there as the core item purchases. I mean, the stat line really tells the difference here.
Yeah.
DAMWON are itemized very well. They have everything going for them. This game is really looking like it doesn't have much more time in it, as there is the Fabled book.
Yeah. You know, maybe he's saying I need the most stats
it is
possible for now to survive, and he is going up against Senna, Maokai, and Trundle, I guess.
The weird thing here is that they don't make it so that Wukong gets the Executioners or Graves. Instead, they make the mid laner invest 3,000 gold into getting it. So when he's already starved and hard pressed, apparently 800 gold is too tall of an ask for the jungler or the top laner.
Yeah, he desperately needs Death Stance. You know, just in case. Well, they're going to get another Mountain Drake here, just to add further onto the sadness of SANDBOX. And the inevitable push is coming, guys. You know, I know it, LS knows it, we all know it, it's coming. And SANDBOX are also, unfortunately, in that spot as well. As Trundle with Zoe and Jayce is a lot of fun. I'm not sure where Summon's going. Looking for the knockups here, and there's the engage. He's going to get a bunch of tanky members into his own backline. And they're just going to they're just going to jump the wall and kill them all. I mean, that is a really nice snipe by Nuguri, actually, on the backside. So props to him. And that should be the end of this one, guys. Pretty quick game number one as DWG flex all over SANDBOX.
Now it is Graves, so with his Q, may be able to actually push out the minion wave, but ShowMaker has teleport. He's just going to TP and lock up a minion. This is... Okay, we're not lock up the minion, I guess. We're just going to TP.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he bought Elixir.
He wants to get as much damage as possible and kills more so. He's worried about his KDA. Nice stopwatch there. He's got 25 stacks already, and that's going to be the end of that one. GG, guys.